Hello, hello. Tim Bartz is here, and
Sarah
Sarah.
Davis.
All right, you got unmuted, so I was a little worried about you there for a second. So I am
No.
live in Las Vegas, as you can tell from the Bellagio fountains. And Sarah, you're at the dealership, right?
Yes.
All right, so we're doing two different locations. So we're gonna, but yes, so I am here at the. Some people don't know this. Why I'm in Vegas? Why I'm not here? Because last Tuesday, I don't think I was aware of this. Right? Was it Tuesday? I don't know when it was. That came out. But yes, I'm in Vegas. I am at the dealer meeting where the four dealers are invited to come to this. A couple dealership employees are allowed from each dealership to go over the yearly business news, maybe see preview of some of the new product, other things that they're wanting dealerships to know and to learn about, and other things. So yes, so we actually were here today. We're actually done. So today was the last day. We're heading out, flying back out tomorrow. So we are doing the live stream here, and so yeah, I had a lot of fun. But how's your week been going without me?
Pretty good. Been pretty hectic. I didn't sit down for a lot of this afternoon.
Classes away, nobody to play.
Good thing I didn't have pricing to do too. So,
Yeah. So I did not find any G Fuel in Vegas, but I got a Kickstart, so that'll get me through the live stream because it's actually 5 o'clock here. So when we dump the live stream, it'd be 7 o'clock. So yeah, so
yep. Ow.
and my lunches. I ended up eating four meals yesterday because our breakfast was at like 7:30 in the morning here, and then we had lunch at like 11, and then they fed us dinner at like 4 o'clock, and so I'm like, I'm gonna be hungry again. So, but because I get adjusted to whatever time zone I'm in really fast. So I'm when that first night I go to bed about when I would want to normally for there, and then adjust pretty quickly. But so I'm actually on Pacific time, and I'm with it, so I won't be tired. I won't be going to bed for a while. So we're gonna eat dinner after we're done with the live stream here tonight. So anyway, all right. Let's see what else is going on. So yep, I'm a Maverick owner. You see it my title there.
Yep.
So
They
uh,
question that.
they question that.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm a Maverick owner. A Maverick trimmer, lariat trim. So yep, yep.
Yep.
So trading in the Lightning. So I'm going from all EV to all gas because Maverick is the trimmer will be more fuel efficient than the Bronco at least. But I think I can pay for a lot of gas for $500 a month.
Yeah.
So anyway, so all right. But by the title, you guys can tell we're going to talk a little bit. I will tell you this full disclosure. I cannot um, had to sign a waiver that not to talk about some of the specifics on some of the things. They took our phones and put them in a case while we were in there, several parts, so we couldn't take any pictures of any product. Not supposed to talk about any of the products. Well, I can talk about what has already been released to the media. Let's just say that. So that's what we're going to tie it to today. But
We
I'm
don't talk about meetings.
no, we won't talk about that. But we will talk about the how dealers should be excited for the future of Ford and be excited that dealers aren't going away. They're not going anywhere. So we'll talk about that later and some of those things. And I can talk about some of the non-specific stuff that's already been kind of released to the media, but just kind of reminded to dealers. And, a lot of this stuff, like some of that stuff, we're listening to them like, I already knew about that. So like a couple products they revealed, I'm like, yeah, that's already been revealed. I already seen that. I seen that Carlisle. And then like, yeah, that one was released in social media 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I already knew about that because you talked about that. So we'll kind of reference some of that of they talked to dealers about some of these things, but the products are cool. So we'll that's all we can tell you. The updates and some products we saw. What 7, 8, 9 vehicles, 2 of which I'd seen prior. So
Ooh.
that's pretty awesome. So anyway, so we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. So other than
And
that,
he has not told me a single thing yet. We haven't had a chance to talk about anything, so
no, can't
nothing for
wait.
me either.
So anyway, members, if you're a member, then I did talk a little bit about some things, but again,
Yeah.
I can't publicly put it out there. But if you're a member, I talked about more of my feelings about it. So anyway, you guys check that out earlier. Other than that, speaking of that, you want to talk a little bit about membership?
Yeah, so if you'd like to become a member, it's right there by that subscribe button. It's join. When you open that tab, it'll tell you all of the perks that we offer. Then, if you are an iPhone user, you have to do things just a little bit differently. You have to go to your web browser, go up to little a and big A, and request desktop browser. At that point, you should be able to join. So, some of the perks that we offer, we have member only content, like Tim mentioned. He talked about some of his things on a member video today. We also have other content, live
Wow.
streams on Fridays, Saturday lot walks. We do all of that. You get a new member packet. It's just there are some good perks that come with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of our members, I mean, for the $5, you're getting 2 videos from us a week at least. And then like this week, I took a little video. I took a little video of the spear that's right outside, which is really cool. So I took a little video and posted. It was a minute-long video, and then I don't know, something else. I posted another. Oh, the hotel room. So the dealership put us in a pretty nice hotel room. I was like, I don't think I've ever had a hotel room this nice. So
We
anyway,
also do member only shorts, member only videos when we go on our trips. So,
yeah.
like when we went to North Carolina, I'm like, okay, we're off on our trip. Off we go.
So if you like, yeah, especially I kind of feel like it's more of about
Vlogging.
like Sarah, vlogging about Sarah and I and different things like that, and things of my thoughts, and especially when on the lot walk, I have
We also have a Discord.
Yes, we have a Discord as well. So anyway, some great perks. Man, we should upcharge that $5. That's a discount.
Well, we've changed a lot since you first originally started it.
We keep adding things to it.
It's been 2 years.
Yeah, we won't upcharge it. I'm just joking with y'all. Should do it. I like what All Nation does. They actually do an extra one, but it's for people that want to just feel like they want to get more, no more perks. It's another, spot if you would like to support. But instead of doing that, since on YouTube they take pretty much
30%.
30% of it, I think. So we just recommend people. There's a down in the description there if you want to support us in any other way. Not required, not necessary, but we do appreciate anything. So we can go on trips because we're going to SEMA soon, which will be back in Vegas in a couple months. And
I get to go to that one.
Yes, so trying to figure out where we're going to stay.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look at costs. How far is it from the convention center? Can we get there easily on the monorail? That kind of thing to figure out what we can afford. But so anyway, all right. So let's see what's next. I'm actually using my phone to let me know what we need to do. So videos this week. Was planning yesterday to have a Bronco video on the official changes. Happened the order guide was supposed to come out yesterday. Did not. So I thought come out today. It did not. So the brand manager told me that it'd be within 24 hours, and that was of noon here. So maybe tomorrow morning we'll have the order guide, but I'll be on a plane when that happens because I'll be flying out of here about 7:30 in the morning. And so we will get back to Salina around 2 p.m. So
are you guys flying into Salina or
Kansas? No, we'll be flying into Wichita.
Oh.
So that flight doesn't arrive. I mean, we'll get back to Salina around 5 p.m. So anyway, so that video probably won't be until Thursday then, which the order guides open up tomorrow. So or, I mean the order banks. So anyway, so don't know anything yet on that, on anything new other than what they've been telling us. We'll have to see. Let's see. Other than that, we'll get those the complete guides that we normally do on those. We'll get those to those. We need to do Super Duty as well. So the reason I haven't gotten the Super Duty ones done is because it takes a lot. So I've recorded all the clips for all the different packages for the Super Duty, and then I've gotten my notes ready for the standard equipment for all the different Super Duty trims. But I want to record some on the optional equipment because they're all different on all trim levels. So Super Duty is it's a beast to get through and try to do. So we're working on that video, but we'll probably, Bronco will be a lot easier to do. So anyway. All right.
I feel like Bronco is very in-depth as well.
Yeah, and I mean, but it's more simplified. in some of it, because like on each of the different trim levels, like Bronco
It's
Sport
more
and
like
Maverick, it's only
right.
like a package or two, right? Whereas on
Yeah.
Super Duty, there's like 10 packages available. you know,
Yeah.
it's different because you have some people that use it for construction, some people for towing, some people, you know, for hauling. So it's different. But yeah, even on the Bronco, they're going to be more simplified to Big Ben and maybe like a mid package and maybe I mean, really, the tow package isn't a tow; it's just a hitch. But I mean, there's a lot of those that it's there's not that many packages. Mid
Hmm.
package now there's a Lux and high package combined together, so it'll be a lot easier to do. So there you go. Oh,
We
yeah,
got a new member, Christopher. Thank you. Welcome.
yep, yep.
Send me an email.
All right, well, let's dive in. We're going to talk about good dealer moment, and I want to talk about Mitch over at Town and Country. Of course, he probably doesn't need any help. He has over 200,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel. Um, but I got a chance to see him this week. He actually was one of the spoke because they actually have dealers that kind of spoke on different topics and different things that they're doing that are really doing well. And his was on social media and what he's doing on Instagram and on YouTube and such. And so he spoke, but I got a chance to really chat with him, and we missed each other at Supercell, Tennessee, but I got a chance to talk for a little bit for about 5 or 10 minutes yesterday. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, so what's really cool about him is actually as I walked up, he was actually helping another dealer that wants to do YouTube videos and wants to do some stuff. So it was really cool how he is helping other dealers that want to do what he's doing. So, and he encourages it and such, just like he's come on our live stream and gave us donations and such. So he's real genuine and wants to help other people succeed as well. And the information he puts out, he's just like with us, they're not going to take all the orders and, not all the Bronco orders and the other vehicles. He wants to help other people and educate them as well, just like we do. So, of course, he reaches a lot more people than we do. But Mitch is a good guy and a good dealer down there. And I think I got a couple dealerships down in Alabama or somewhere. Anyway, so there you go. I just want to point that out because I got a chance to talk to him this week and highlight him and his dealership. All right. Now, we're going to get into schedule. Oh, I forgot to put the clip up. We're going to get into scheduling news. So let's go ahead and wait a minute. Have you been highlighting some members? Before we do that, I just jumped
No, I
right
didn't.
over. I just jumped right over. Got a new member.
Another one.
All right, and he's
JD
actually
Egan.
been. Yeah, they've been. I know they've been viewing our videos and such for a while, but finally joined the membership.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's highlight some members before we move on because I
Okay.
totally forgot to do that. It's another perk you get as a member.
All right.
All right, go ahead, Sarah.
All right. So first off, I'm going from the bottom up. So we have Misty. She says hello, everyone. We have Niles. He's an official member. 3 months is a time. Well, he's talking about aftermarket stuff with someone. We have Eric Kissel here. Everyone. Hi, everyone. I have an EcoBoost Maverick. Should I change oil at 1,000 miles? I think that's up to the car owner.
Yeah, I don't think you need
And what
to
their
change
preference
oil.
is, but
No, you don't. I don't think. I think it's 5,000, isn't it?
yeah. And some actually are saying if it's a hybrid, even longer. I
haven't changed oil in my Lightning since I got
it. That's such a dad joke.
It's been a year.
We have Jolie Mike. He says video is bad, my end or theirs. So if you're talking about Tim's video, he has a little bit of a sunspot on the side. Not a sunspot, but that sun is on that side. He is in a hotel room. Oh, actually,
Yeah.
that helps. That actually helped.
Actually, now see that looks better because before you could even see me because I actually wanted to.
No, on my end I can see you. No, in the video you can see you better with the curtain open.
But on my end, it just looks dark.
That's your screen.
Sure? Are you sure?
Yes. But if you need it closed so you can see your screen, then keep it closed.
I actually had it earlier. I wanted you guys to be able to see the mountains behind me. Actually, I love the view. So we're on the side that's across from I don't have a view of the strip, but a view instead on the back side, which I can see this because we're at the Palazzo. And so I could see the sphere really well right outside the window, but also I could see the mountains across the way, which is really cool. So I leave these open at night, and then in the morning, as we wake up, the sun comes up and I can see it. So, you
Yeah.
know, but when I set it up earlier, it was really dark.
All right. They have spoken. They said leave the window covered.
Leave it covered.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and the pixels probably isn't as good because the camera I'm using is not as good as the camera that Sarah's using. So,
Yeah. Or the
yep.
mics or anything like that.
Yeah.
But let's
I
keep
was
going.
tempted to take that camera with me, but it's like Sarah's gonna need it. So.
All right. We have ML Culpepper in the house. He actually picked up his Maverick right before the Maverick meetup. We have, let's see, who else do we have here? Sorry, guys. I didn't pull anyone aside. Rayanne says, I would love to see some video from meetings as well. I found out that someone from our dealership family was talking there on Monday in front of all the dealers.
Oh, what dealership is she with?
A place in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. I know that.
Oh. I will say that I got a chance to talk to I won't name him somebody that's on the product committee, and I learned some things I probably shouldn't have learned.
Yeah,
He
we
didn't
have
know I
not
was
discussed anything today.
He's not. He didn't know he's talking to Ford Video Guy. I didn't let him know either. Like,
so we can't talk about it.
No, I won't talk about it, but it's fun to know.
Yeah, we have MM in the house saying welcome to the crew. She is with Valley Ford.
Valley Ford.
All right.
I don't think I heard anybody, but there were some that were talking on service that I wasn't really paying attention to much of.
All right, and then we have Ridgeview, our other moderator, our first moderator, welcoming in other people.
Okay.
Oh, well, YouTube people.
Yes. YouTube Car Spotters guide. I think he watches a lot of Johnny's and other ones too. So it's fun to see him over.
Yeah, cool. But Ridgeview is our wonderful moderator. He helps us out a lot, and he greets all of our chat people as they make their first chat. So
yeah,
it's awesome to have him in here. All right, and then Deke Marshall, I have to highlight this one. Where's the sideburns?
Sideburns.
That's not the first question on that either. I think 3 other people have asked that question.
My sideburns. It's headphones.
No, they're saying you need sideburns to be in
Vegas.
Las Vegas.
I actually did see a couple that was getting married, and one of them looked like Elvis. It's kind of funny.
All right.
I haven't really left the hotel once. I walked down to like the link, and then crossed the street and walked back. That was it. Across the street again. Actually, I went down to the fashion show. I was trying to find something, but yeah. So yeah, didn't venture far. Okay, that it?
I've been busy. I mean, we have tons of members in here. I could go all night.
Well, we appreciate all of our members.
We do.
While we go through the scheduling information, I'm probably just going to move the camera to just me, since I'll be doing all the talking. So let's get into. You have any other questions? You know what?
I have questions for later.
Yeah. So Sarah knows. Just click on the second one from the left if you want to talk about something, and I'll pop you back on there. Of course, your audio still will be working.
I'll just talk without them seeing me.
There you go.
If you have questions, drop them in the chat using @SarahDavis. That will tag me, so that way I can pull your question aside for later.
All right.
So let's get into it.
Okay. So using my notes here, we'll talk about some scheduling, and there's some, we're going to go through some of this. Well, first let's talk about the 24 Mustang, which by the way, are shipping out now. They just saw some videos earlier from Jim Farley that showing some being put onto rail cars. So they are shipping out now. They got the okay to buy and started shipping today, I believe. So some of you will be getting yours. I think we have like 10 that are built. So that's awesome to hear. It looks like they are scheduling this week for 24 Mustang. Retail scheduling for Oh, wait. Hold on, Sarah. Got to do something. We got to talk about this. All right. So before we get into that, sorry to forget this, but here are some of the different things that when we talk about scheduling information and notes, here are some of the terms that you might hear and be wondering what it means. So, basically we're going to be talking about people that have orders in the order bank. The order bank is where dealers will place those stock or retail orders. A retail order is where a customer places the order, whereas a stock order is one that a dealership places if we don't have any retail orders to get scheduled to have inventory for our lot. And then we do have the priority codes. Priority codes is a dealer gives priority codes to the orders. Now it can be anywhere from 03 to 19 for a retail order and 20 to 80 for a stock order. Of course, lower the better. That's why a stock order will never be looked at before a retail order. So if a dealership has allocations and they have a retail order, that retail order is going to be used on those allocations, or for those, the allocation will be used for those orders. Scheduling, which is what we're talking about now, is scheduling information is when Ford schedules an order for production date in the future months. So when we talk about something is scheduling for a certain period, they're scheduling this week for orders to be built in that time period. And then production, they'll be scheduled to either to the day or the week. Eventually you'll get at first will be a scheduled to the week and then scheduled to the day. Now allocations, which we mentioned just a second ago, is where Ford will give dealerships allocations to schedule their orders. And the dealership needs an allocation to get an order scheduled. If they don't have any allocations, then an order can't be scheduled. Even if there's a retail order in there, Ford won't just give the dealership an allocation for that order because the dealership gets so many allocations based on their sales. And then constraints. We might talk about in here. Here are some constraints or capacities. Constraints is maybe something that is an option that is in short supply or might take longer to build. And a capacity is how many they plan to be able to produce, which can be because of either supply or other issues. So that sometimes a trim, maybe a motor it has a certain capacity and such. And then job 1 and 2 for, really, if anything, scheduling for 24 model year, those are all job 1s. Job 2, about halfway through the year, Ford will shift over to job 2. So any major changes will be a second production run of that. So on the Ranger, we're seeing that with that motor. There's a 2.7 liter V6 that is available and won't be available till job 2. So once they're ready to do job 2, that's when we'll see the production of those. And then balance out. Some of these we'll say they're balanced out. That means an option or a model is balanced out. It means that they produce as many as they plan to produce for that model year of that option or that model. So, all right. Forgot about that. Want to make sure I got that covered. All right. So, for Mustang is retail scheduling, and it is they are scheduling production weeks for the week of October 2nd to the week of October 23rd. So as you can see, a lot of these are scheduling for October build dates. F-150 and Super Duty usually schedules a month in advance, just so you know that. Does say retail only option is the 5.0 liter GT performance package. That's the G7J. Dealers aren't allowed to order that. They're not going to schedule any of those. So that's a retail only option. Exhausted availability is a 20-inch by 9-inch premium painted aluminum wheel. That's option 64M. So exhausted doesn't mean it won't be. It's just there might be 1 or 2, but for the most part, they can't do any more right now for this week anyway. Now, Escape. Escape is scheduling, retail scheduling for this week. They're scheduling for build dates the weeks of October 2nd through November 6th. And why did they roll over into November? Because they are trying to finish out scheduling for the Escape production. So that's about when they're going to start rolling over the 24 model year. So 23 Bronco Sport. Yes, I said 23. They are supposed to be scheduled for 24 this month, but they're still trying to finish out 23 production. So they still have some slots open. So if a dealer has available allocations that are carried over and they have retail orders, they will try to schedule those. So they are scheduling for production weeks the week of September 4th to October 9th. So I'm not sure when they're going to shift that over to 24, but them and Maverick both are having the same kind of messages. Limited availability for the all-terrain tire, and also for the exhausted availability for the Black Diamond package, which is even just starting to be produced. And then also the 17-inch carbonized painted low gloss aluminum wheel. I think that's the one on the Big Ben trim. So anyway, so there you go. So 24 edge, and does say dressing period for the stock, which means they're trying to get some stock ones. They don't probably have a lot of retail orders. They're scheduling for production weeks in October as well. 23 Bronco, they're scheduling for the weeks of September 18th through September 25th. So they're only about a month in advance still. Does say not to forget that you can't, they're balanced out on base, Everglades, manual transmission, and Badlands with the optional wheel. Means, again, balanced out means they're not going to schedule any of those. Also, Heritage and Heritage Limited is delayed production and scheduling. So you probably won't have any of those get scheduled. Exhausted availability is the Shadow Black paint on non-Raptors. So they were reserving those for Raptors, evidently. And then 17-inch gray painted aluminum wheel that's standard on the Big Ben is also exhausted. So probably won't see a lot of Big Bens unless you have a Sasquatch Big Ben get scheduled. Limited availability is on the hardtop in all series. So again, limited is so exhausted is worse than limited. Limited is not too bad. That means you're going to schedule some hard tops. Exhausted means worse, and then if it says balanced out, then it's no go at all. So that's the tier level. I kind of feel like, it's kind of like having a tornado watch and tornado warning. Which one's worse? So the exhausted is worse than the limited. So just so you know that. The 23 Explorer, we do have. They are scheduling for production weeks in October. Retail scheduling only, it looks like. And then don't forget the ones with 360-degree camera have to have that 360-degree camera removal option added to the order, as well as those that have the reverse brake assist as well. That option added as a removal. Limited availability. Base 100A are retail only orders. Probably next year we won't see the base even be included like we're seeing on some of these other models. ST line is exhausted availability, which means you probably won't have any ST line scheduled. And then limited availability is the XLT Sport Appearance Package and the ST High Performance Package. Those are limited available. So that might schedule a few, but be pretty rare. 24 Expedition is not scheduled this week. And just for future weeks, don't forget Platinum will require the optional 22-inch wheel if you're looking for that. Now, 23 Maverick, just like with the Bronco Sport, is cleanup scheduling. So they are trying to fill in those production weeks through September as well as into that first week in October, which is the balance out of the 23 model year. Limited availability for the 17-inch carbonized gray alloy wheel that is standard on the XLT. So it looks like XLT is going to be just a few of those scheduled, if any. Exhaust availability on the protective film for the hood and fender, and as well as the tire that's T7R, the 225/65R17 all season tire that's available on the XL and XLT only. So it looks like to me probably be scheduling a lot of lariats to finish out the production for 23. 24 Ranger is not scheduling this week. And don't forget those unscheduled FX4 orders. They need the running boards added to them. So don't forget to add that option so they can be scheduled when they start scheduling again. 23 Super Duty. So the whole page here. 23 Super Duty they're trying to finish out scheduling here for 23 model year. So they are still scheduling. I thought they were done. It says scheduling they're scheduling for Kentucky Truck Plant for dates in September to finish that out. And for Ohio, they're scheduling for dates into October. So the dates are weeks of September 18th through the weeks of October 23rd. 23 model year balance out scheduling is what they're saying. If a retail order doesn't preview this week, we no longer have the commodities to support, and it will likely be moved to a 24. You need to be placed at 24 model year order. That is the same note we got last week. So anyway, it does say all King Ranch and Platinum orders were mass spec changed to remove the or to add the multi-constancy removal option. And then limit availability on the F450, 550, and Platinum. Exhaust availability unlimited in King Ranch. There you go on that. Limit availability for the 20-inch bright machine and matte black low gloss painted aluminum wheel. That is the 64U wheel. Also, of course, we've mentioned this before, the KB8 or KBK frame. That's optional on the F350 two-wheel drive with the diesel engines and also 160-inch wheelbase dualies. That is limited, as well as the SEK frame, which is the one that's optional on the F450, 550, 600 with the 7.3 diesel with the 169-inch wheelbase dually option. And then also limited availability on the gooseneck dual hitch kit. That's 15E. I'd take that off because that's something you can get from your dealer. But that's not the prep package. That's the kit. That's the gooseneck kit. So, and then exhausted availability are these options as follows. There's a bunch of them. So the 20-inch bright machine cast aluminum wheel, the Caribou painted pockets, that's your King Ranch one. The LK frame, which is optional on the F550, 600 with the 6.7 or the 7.3 engines, and 145-inch dually wheelbase without the payload package, it says. And then also the HBK frame, which is optional on the F350, two-wheel drives with the 7.3 diesel engine and the 169-inch wheelbase. And then the GBK frame, which is optional on the F350 two-wheel drive with the 7.3 diesel engine and the 145-inch dual rear wheel or single. And then also exhaust availability on the 205-inch wheelbase that is optional, which is optional on the XL, XLT, 450, 550, 600 chassis cabs. And then also two-wheel drive Dana axle that is optional on the F450, 550, 600 with the dually and 4x4 pickup or the two-wheel drive chassis. So we're seeing a lot of those ones that would be work trucks or cabin chassis and such that are struggling here with the different axles they have available. Also, heavy-duty alternator. Oh, wait, before I get to that, the Dana axle, try to combine those words, M315 rear, that's optional on the F350, 450, and 600 dualies with the 6.7 diesel. Also, heavy-duty alternator that's standard on the XL gas, and the 203-inch wheelbase fuel tank with the low sulfur diesel fuel. That's option 98L is also exhausted. And the fifth wheel hitch kit, kind of like the dual kit. You might want to think about doing the same thing. Trimmer off-road package, that's 17Y, that requires four-wheel drive in the diesel or the 7.3 is also exhausted. Star white metallic tri-coat, so I would switch from that color if possible. Baja interior, which I think is optional on the XLT and Lariat maybe. That one, and then the Lariat Ultimate package too. So we're struggling with old Lariats as well. And then balanced out all together is the stone gray, azure gray, and for this week, the four-corner strobe light system is also balanced out. So there you go. Give me a second. Drink. All right. F-150 23, they are scheduling for build weeks for the week of September 4th or September 11th. And not too many constraints there. They just said heated steering wheel availability is returning. It's been a note for the last 3 weeks. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much it. That's just a note about that on those stock orders being put back. The 2023 F-150 Lightning is going to start scheduling back again. They're scheduling for the week of September 4th or September 11th. We're going to start seeing a lot of these Lightnings get scheduled here the rest of this year. So they are ramping up production big time. We'll talk about that in a second. But they're really ramping up. 23 model year mach-e retail scheduling this week for build dates in October. 23 Transit Connect van scheduling for build weeks in October as well. Orders are needed from dealers with remaining Transit Connect van commodity allocations. So if you have allocations but no orders, they need your orders. So they need to fulfill those allocations. It says no scheduling constraints on that one or on the wagon, and wagons scheduling for the same periods as well. So 23 model year Transit, for their scheduling for production weeks in October, the weeks of October 2nd and the week of October 9th. So it says this week only scheduling the E-Transit and VSO orders. I don't know what a VSO is. Vehicle Special. I don't know. Anyway. And as a recommendation, we encourage our dealers to change the 360-degree camera into the high resolution camera. So they say to change option 61D to option 61E because they evidently are struggling with that one. Limit availability on the power sliding door, option 65C, the trail package, option 47N, heavy duty cargo flooring, option 60B, the 10-way power driver and passengers ebony leather seats, that's option 21S, and also the vented wheel arch moldings, option 15C, as well as the motor 99G, the 3.5 EcoBoost GTDI engine. Exhausted availability on the 360-degree camera, which is now why you see why they want you to switch it to the 61E. They are balanced out on the depopulated key option 19Y, as well as the power running boards 68L, the side barn doors 59A, all crew van body codes, as well as Transit 350 heavy duty dually cutaway chassis cabs and cargo vans. And not available for stock orders at all is that EcoBoost engine that they're struggling with, that's limited, as well as the 360-degree camera and the high resolution camera. And so for those ICE orders. So anyway, all right. So Sarah, that is all of that. I'm going to mute you now. All right. We have any questions at all on that? Because I've not been looking at the comments.
Have you had me on mute?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't talking anyways, but okay.
No. So it might sounded kind of weird to people. So anyway.
So. All right. Let's see. Based on 24 Bronco changes, how does the no cloth interior affect the Heritage?
The no cloth doesn't affect the Heritage. So that is the only one that will get cloth. So, yes.
All right.
But we don't have order guides yet to
100%,
but we do know vinyl seats are going to be pretty much across the board, except for the Heritage.
So someone asked, why has Ford not released the 24 Bronco order guide yet? We don't know. It was supposed to be released on August 14th.
Yeah, they're punching it in. From what I understand, the development team is sending it over. I don't know if they have to hand type all that in. I don't know, but yeah.
Yep.
It's like, Ford, you knew this date was coming.
So part of this was also, will the 24 Bronco order bank still open tomorrow, or will it be pushed back?
I was told, yes, they will still open the 16th. Keep in mind, it'll probably be at the end of the day, like most of the other malls.
All right.
So most of them, when they say they open up, most of the time, it's usually it's at the end of the business day. So just so you know that, be aware of that. So. Okay.
All right. So this question is, are dealers reached out to directly for each manual Dark Horse scheduling instead of previewing and scheduling automatically like GT and Eco?
Okay, yes. So Dark Horse dealers they'll be told that they're going to have an allocation for that. In fact, now it's going to be new. Not really anything that needs to be disclosed to the public, but when we have scheduling allocations, we have a spreadsheet. It's called e-commitment that actually shows how many allocations you have. And if you would like to request more, you can. Or sometimes, in case we've had some situations where we earned a lot more allocations, but we didn't need any because we're already overstocked. Bronco Sport's one of those where, we're not selling a Bronco Sports that great. I mean, we are, but not the number that we've earned. So sometimes we actually will show, hey, you know what? I know we earned 9 allocations, but we already have 8 in stock. We only want to take like 4 of them, right? And so you can do that. A lot of times very rarely we'll do that. We'll always ask for more. But at the bottom of that, now they're going to start putting in for the 24 model year, those specialty ones like Dark Horse, like the Ranger Raptor will start being shown. So the dealer will know at the beginning of the month if they're going to get scheduled for a Dark Horse. But then once that happens, then you get to pick that you pick the order that you want scheduled, from what I understand. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I think if a dealership, probably the easiest thing for them to do is they will always schedule the one that's in there with the highest priority. So what dealers should do is, if they have like more than one dark horse, is put one as a priority 10, one as an 11, one as 12, and say this one was first, this one was second, that one was third. And so that they schedule them in that order. So I don't know if they're still going to manually do that. They want to try to make it more automatic, like they do with the other ones. But that they're starting to roll that out for 24 model years. So they said Bronco, Raptor, and F-150 Raptor will be done the same way. We'll be able to see that. So that'll be something we can learn and figure out here in the near future. So
Do we have a cutoff date to order 23 F-150s?
no, it'll probably be like
Okay.
the Bronco, where like a week before they stopped scheduling. So most model years, that's the way it works. They usually go and they cut it off like a week before they start scheduling for the next one, or the order banks start opening up. So um, anyway, because they do overlap, because they got to keep the scheduling going, so they'll overlap a little bit, the
Mm-hmm.
models. So more than likely they won't F-150, because they build so many and they can build so many. We probably won't see that order bank close.
Yeah. All right. Will spray and bedliner increase my EcoBoost wait time?
No. So we have been told, and I have really good knowledge on this, that the reason why they can include the spray liner and the lariat trim and the drop-in bed liner and the XLT trim is because they have production levels, and they have the people, the workers, to be able to take care of those. Because spray liner is all about time, and if they don't have a lot of, before, like a 22 model year, they thought they could handle that production, and then the plant could not handle it. But
Mm.
they fixed that during the 23 model year. So 24 launch, you're going to not see that as a problem. So that's why, because I asked that same question to the brand team, and they said that's not going to be a problem. So
All
yeah.
right.
In fact,
How many?
yesterday I was able to talk to one of the members from the brand team, that's the brand manager for Ranger and Maverick, along with the main Maverick brand manager. And so, yeah, so
All right.
production is up and running.
Do we know how many unscheduled Mavericks are still in the order banks?
I think I did see that it was like 20,000 or 21 still. But I don't know if you've seen, though, that like last month they produced over 10,000. But
All right.
keep in mind, those weren't all U.S. builds. So they are building for Canada as well as South America. I think Brazil, maybe not South America, but for Brazil. So they aren't, all 10,000 are not going just to the U.S. They're being built to other market areas, or other markets as well. So,
Okay.
but so
All right. Um, I got that one. Would this be a good time for when is the Lightning Pro window closed?
tomorrow is the
Tomorrow.
deadline.
Okay.
And right now, dealers are not able to put in a retail order. So if you do want a pro, you need to do it online. So,
Okay.
yep, dealers can do a stock one.
All right.
But for us, we probably won't order a stock pro version, because in our mind, for $4,000, you're getting a lot on the XLT trim. It would probably be more likely to, we're going to be ordering XLTs. We'll talk about Lightnings here in just a little bit, but we're going to probably see production numbers to where you're going to see Lightnings on dealer lots. So,
All right. Now that Ford has dropped base Bronco, is it possible to order a base Bronco grill? I want to change my Big Ben grill.
so yes, because I did that. Basically, the Badlands and the base shared a grill. The difference was the color of the letters. So, because there's going to be some base model ones out there getting on wrecks and needing grills replaced, you still should be able to get parts. So check with your dealership's parts department, and they should be able to get you that grill.
All right.
So they may try to look up your VIN, but if you just tell them I want the grill, and you can actually look it on Bronco 6G, and you can get the actual grill like part number for that, because I think now they're actually putting the letters in with the grill. So whereas when
Okay.
I got mine, the letters I had to get separate from the grill. But yeah, and they're easy to swap out. I did a video on that.
All right.
It says,
Okay. Uh, Hi, I ordered a F-350 Super Duty Limited back in October 27 of 22. Paperwork said job 1 at level 19. Do you think it will be built?
Okay, level 19 is your priority, and job 1 is okay. For one, they weren't doing limiteds on job 1 last year in 2023 model year, so um, at this point in time, if it hasn't been scheduled, if it hasn't been scheduled, you'll make sure you put in a 24 model year order, because they know that they're struggling. We'll talk about that as well later. But
All right. Regarding the F-150, when ordering a 360 camera, are they still force removing the bed view camera?
I think so. I might have to look that one up, but I believe that is they have removed that camera, which is kind of a bummer because I like that. Uh, I guess I don't
All
have a
right.
Lightning anymore, but
So, do we know when 24 Maverick scheduling starts?
well, it's supposed to start this month. We actually showed that we had 22 allocations for this for the start of scheduling for 24, which we knew would just be a 2 month, 2 weeks run, and now ours is showing 0.
Okay.
It's not even showing 24 at all. So I'm not sure. I know that I think they're able. They're building more than they thought they would be able to, because adding that third shift, that they're building more. Because of that, I think they're still trying to finish out because they're still be able to
Yeah.
fit in more orders in 23. So the more 23s they build, the less carryovers they have, and just the better. Also, less
Mm-hmm.
a lower number of private offers, right, for Ford.
Yes.
So
So, Eric is saying my 24 Maverick Hybrid order is a priority 2 already. My 23 EcoBoost will have a younger sibling. So, Ford has taken all orders that are a 23 that rolling over to a 24. They are all getting a priority 2 no
okay,
matter what. So,
so
dealers have no control over that. It's Ford handling that.
So let's actually talk about how the logistics on this. So technically, what's happening is if you have a 23 unscheduled order, hopefully your dealership's already put that 24 model year order in it. And for Eric, they have. Um, and so it's technically they're putting in a new order. That 23 order
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, I mean, we like to call it a carryover order. But what Ford's saying is they need to see that 23 order so they know that 24 is something that needs to be carried over and prioritized. And yes, Ford is giving it priority O2. And that happens once the dealership does a COVP approval on it. We still have some that don't have an O2 but are carryover orders because the COVP is still pending,
Yeah.
and so it has not been
And
approved yet. Once it's
while you've
approved, it
yeah.
should get the O2 priority as well.
So while you've been gone, we got ours moved over to a priority 2 over the weekend. So on Monday,
Saw that.
some salesmen went to go make changes. Well, they're a priority 2
Hmm.
because the customer didn't check it over when they did COVP, or they haven't completed COVP, and these people are wanting to make changes.
Okay, so next week is a part of the topic. We'll talk about how to make changes to those O2s.
Okay.
And for those people, because I know it's going to be a hot topic, so that'll
Yes.
be remind me next
Because
week. Next week, the
yeah.
topic will be how do you make changes on those carryover orders
Um,
that are priority 2. Um,
but I
so,
know that one of our salesmen brought some orders to me that he had changed that were a priority 2.
mhm.
They moved them out of the priority 2. He made the changes. He didn't have COVP on some of those. So they got moved over to a 2 without COVP.
Okay, so maybe I don't know because I was told until it got COVP approved, then it wasn't going to get the O2. But that's
Okay.
good that it had because I know that some of ours did not.
Right. But
So
now
I
we're
know
running
it did.
into the problem that those people that are now getting their COVP in need to
Mhm.
make changes because they didn't confirm that until this week. I'm like, see, this is why we needed to have COVP done last week. This is why we were requesting that because now we need to make changes. It's a priority 2,
Mhm.
and it's harder to make these changes. So,
And it does take a while for us. I mean, like we talked to the brand manager, we put in 400 orders. Each
yeah.
of the sales guys have 20 to 30. It takes it a while to call 30 customers, get
Yes.
everything okayed, then get those changes, then send over the
Mhm.
paperwork, get it back from them, then print those, get them over, and then also you have a person that has to input those, and we have one person that inputs all of them. So it is time consuming. So that's why it's for some of us, they're like, why haven't you gotten that done for me? Again, 400 orders, it takes a dealership like
Yeah.
us a little longer to put those in. That's why there's not a deadline yet.
Yes.
But it is interesting that they got O2s, because on Saturday when I was there, they not all of those were O2s. So evidently that happened on Monday. So, which is good. So, and I know we had some that were inputted on
Yeah.
that day.
I
So
have
the person that
lists.
inputs them is actually here in Vegas. So they're
Oh.
not getting done the next
Oh.
these last couple of days. So
Well, and I can tell you that I have a list already started of changes that have been made, and we have to move them back to a 2.
so yes, and that again we'll
Yeah.
talk about
We'll
for
talk
other
about it more
dealers
next week.
what needs to happen, but there's an easy process. But it does mean emailing a Ford rep to get that moved back down to
Yeah.
O2. But yeah, well, again, we'll talk about the process on that next week as a topic, so that they know what to do. I've actually talked about it in the past before, because in 2022 model year, there's a lot of people that got O2s because they did things differently in O2 than they did in 23 or in 22 than they did in 23. And so we actually went through that a while back, but you'd have to probably dig through our video archive to find it. But so we'll cover it again next week.
All right. All right. That was all I had. We can move on.
Move on to dealer news. All right. So
Move on.
where's that at down here? All right, let's move on. All right. So, oh, you know what? I didn't have your. You were asking the questions, and I didn't have you on the camera.
No, you didn't. It's okay. They can just hear my voice this week.
No, you just click on the second one anytime you start speaking. All right.
Okay.
So we're going to get into some dealer news updates. One of them is a 24 Escape order bank information, and we kind of talked about this, I think, last week. But this was an official to dealers that on the Escape, the order bank will be opening August 24th. So those of you who want to put an order in for a 24 Escape, that's when the order banks will open up. Also, that same day is when the order guide will be available, as well as the build and price. So a lot of these build and prices are Ford is getting them up and running on the day that the order banks open, which is great. And by the way, the Bronco will be opening up. The build and price should be available tomorrow, really. So maybe the build and price will be available before we get the order guide. Who knows? Anyway, and then on another note, there's a note here on the F-150 Power Boost is getting a discount. So the 2023 F-150 Power Boost, that is your full hybrid version of the F-150, is getting a package discount of $1,900 now. So it's a discount package that's available on those. So as of today, effective starting today, they are going to be re-invoicing all the F-150s stock as well as retails, I believe, to get that extra $1,900 package discount. It'll be price level 370, which is really great. The only ones that won't be affected by this are ones that are being dealer traded from one dealer to the next. So, but otherwise, and any of the vehicles that went into the factory courtesy transportation program would not get this either, because according to Ford, those were sold vehicles. But and then the Lightning Pro update, which we just talked about just a second ago. See if I can find that. That'd be down under the Model E section down here. So tomorrow is supposed to be the deadline for a Pro version. And like I said, dealers aren't allowed to put a retail order in themselves into the order bank. The customer is going to have to go online to do that. So that it's still open. It does say the dealers can put in a stock one, but they're not able to do a retail. So, yeah, because dealers are going to start earning allocations for these, and including us, because we're one of the top Lightning dealers in the state of Kansas. We're actually number one in the state of Kansas. So we're probably going to be earning some of those allocations, not have retail orders for them. So you're going to probably be having some of those on our lot. So before the end of the year. Also, a couple other things. There's an article that came out. In fact, I heard about it while we were here, that Ford hired in from Apple Peter Stern. So Peter Stern worked over with Apple, and he worked on the Apple TV. He oversaw the Apple TV Plus, the iCloud, Apple News Plus, Apple Books, Apple Arcade, Apple One, and Apple Fitness Plus. He oversaw those. So he came over probably because Doug Fields came over from Apple as well. And so we're going to talk about that as part of our things that dealers should be excited about here in just a little bit. But bringing him over, that's going to be a big push for Ford for software integration and such, and doing some things to these vehicles. These vehicles are vessels for software, and how the software can work with the vehicle to make a good driving experience and such. So we'll talk a little bit about that and Ford's goal on that. And I actually I think I linked that article. I guess I did not that article, some other ones here. I'll talk about those later. Also, Ford also released, the Media Center released information on the Ford Blue Cruise, expanding the flexibility with a complimentary trial with monthly or annual offers for hands-free driving technology. So we actually kind of knew this. We've talked about this, but it says that they're trying to build on 225,000 Ford Blue Cruise equipped vehicles on the road today globally. And they want to push that further. And again, that's something else we'll talk about later that we learned this week, and that we're going to start seeing more vehicles with Blue Cruise than just your EVs. Is available on your upper trim level F-150s and your Platinum Expeditions right now, but we're going to see that roll out to other vehicles in the future. So Blue Cruise is pretty awesome. But are people willing to pay for it? That's going to be the question at this point. But all right, so that's all my dealer news, I think. Oop, I lost something. Here it is. So that's all my dealer news. Nope, I think you clicked the mute at the same time I did.
I didn't do anything.
There we go. All right. So so that's all the dealer news that I have. Is anybody have any questions about any of that stuff?
I haven't seen any questions on this topic.
On most of those? Okay. And then I got a few recalls, just two, which is something I talk about. See, a lot of things that go hand in hand with scheduling and some of the stuff that Ford disclosed, and some of the stuff that I can share at the dealer meeting that I think is positive stuff. Ford doesn't mind if I talk about positive stuff. So, all right, let's get into recalls then. Here's my recall thing right down here. All right, so for recalls, I have 2 recalls to cover. Let's see here. Yes, so recall 23E02. So pull this one up here. All right. So, all right. All right, so this recall here is an emission recall. E is for emission, so 23E02. And that's on certain 22 Super Duties with a 6.7 liter engine, the particulate matter sensor installation. So this is a one-time replacement, and it affects about 33,555 Super Duties built in 2022 calendar year. So depending on the plant, it's different dates in there. The affected vehicles did not have the particulate matter or the PM sensor installed from the assembly plant due to a component supply shortage. Now that PM sensors are available, customers will be mailed letters to return to the dealership to have the PM sensor installed, free of charge, of course. Separately, the powertrain calibration on the vehicle may not properly indicate the results of routine emission sensor self-diagnostic that occur while the vehicle is turned off and is missing a preheat function on the nitrogen oxide sensor, which under certain conditions may lead to thermal shock and sudden failure of the nitric oxide sensor. The updated calibration addresses the diagnostic issue. The sensor preheat functions and supports the installation of the PM sensor. So again, because of supply issues, this wasn't in there. So now if you have this, then you'll have that. So let's see here. I think that those letters are going out the week of August 28th. So coming up a little bit. But I think since they are available now, if you know you have it and you know that you're getting it, then you can go onto your dealership and they can go ahead and take care of that for you. So, and in some situations, they might be able to come to you. Um, so remote service. Let's see here. The other recall is N22 or 22N05. This is a supplement. This is an update to the recall that came out earlier. This is on 22 model year Super Duty 6.7 liter diesels. It's a one-time replacement of the diesel particulate filter assembly failures. Hold on a second. Is this different? So this is an update. Basically, this is actually part of that other recall we just talked about, 22E02. So this is the other one is replacing that PM, but with this is the other part of that where we talked about taking care of the repairs of the other things that might go wrong with that. So this is just they have to work these together as part of that. So they did update some of the dates. So that's an update that they put in there and added a further for service on the service side. It doesn't really matter for customers. It gives them a reference recall number so that they can get paid on that by Ford. So anyway, so there you go. So less recalls, as you can see there, which is a good thing. Not seeing near as many recalls there. So
Okay. And I do have questions on recalls.
okay.
So, first off, we received a service engine soon light. Air leak and engine detected. We parked in the garage since 8/8. We'll see dealer 8/18. Did anyone else get this message? I haven't heard of anyone else getting that message. You might check on Maverick Truck Club, but I haven't seen anything on there either.
I don't know if that's a recall.
No. Well, he's probably wondering if there has been a recall made out for it.
Could be a TSB though on it. Sometimes they'll have a TSB if there's not a major issue.
Well, and he just got his. He's the one that drove it home.
Yeah, he just got his. So,
is there a known problem with Bluetooth connection? Do we have any TSBs on those?
no, I don't think so.
I didn't think so either.
Sometimes, I mean, some of these things are just finicky enough that you just have to, disconnect and try, take that, remove it, and try to just add it. I know. Even, your mom has issues with hers connecting in her vehicle sometimes, and hers has the Sync 4 system. So,
yeah. All right.
Keep us updated though on that, Gino. I'd love to know. So
yes, love to know if more people are having that problem.
Yeah, and hopefully we see less recalls. Ford has a plan so that we see less recalls.
Do people pay sales tax on the dealer fees?
Sales tax on dealer fees.
Because that's part of their purchase price, right?
Yes. It would be like out of state, yeah. Or I guess, yeah.
Because so a dealer fee gets added to the bulk price, so you're paying one full price for everything. It's not separated. Well, here's MSRP. You pay tax on that. Dealer fee, you don't. Everything's put into one bulk price, and then you pay taxes on that bulk price.
And then the trade would come out of that typically, and you would pay. You'd pay for, if there's a trade involved, then you would pay the difference in sales tax on what that is after the dealer fee.
All right, that was all I had.
Okay.
All right. On to the next topic.
I'm gonna remove that. Okay. So, is it true? I want to thank RagnarCon for this one. He sent this to me. And this is an article from Reddit. And I don't know if I forgot to put the link in there. But so on Reddit, it does say this is for the Maverick truck. It says 2024 demand warning, ? Or waning, it says, not warning. It says, general question for everyone. I pre-ordered a few weeks ago for a 2024. They should have just ordered. They there should be a pre-order. It would appear that demand has plummeted from the prior year. From what I see, the order banks are still open, nothing close to 3 days like 2022. Will a full calendar year month in 5 days? Is the belief that MSRP will drop for these trucks in a year? I'm guessing the price at build completion might be negotiable if the market commands lower prices. For what it's worth, my dealer said he didn't need a deposit, and if you don't want it, we'll sell it. Sure, that may be true, but if you would turn around and sell it for less, wouldn't you just negotiate with the person who reserved the build in the first place? So on this here. So this is a good discussion because this is a little bit of a myth. A lot of people are thinking because order banks aren't closed yet, that means the demand is down, and that's not true. Because what's really happening is that Ford has no intention to close the order banks like they did last year. They told us so because dealerships know their estimate number. Just like with us, order banks aren't closed, but yet we're not taking orders because we already have our allocation spoken for by orders that we've already taken. A lot of dealers are in that same situation. So there's no need for them to close the order bank because dealers did what they did on the Bronco and they stopped taking orders and saying, yes, the order banks are open, but we can't take any more orders because we would hate for yours not to get scheduled. The best case scenario is for you to find a dealership that has an allocation available. And that's what we're probably seeing more than anything, and why the order banks haven't closed is because dealerships are managing their allocations with their orders better. So that's what we're seeing. Are we seeing less demand? No. Still, people are wanting these vehicles. And what we're probably seeing too is that there's been enough vehicles out there that aren't taking. I don't know if you did see my thumbnail. 3 of those Mavericks lined up. We have 3 Tremors in stock right now where customers didn't take theirs. Those Tremors are available to purchase. I think we only have them marked up $1,000 over MSRP, and we will negotiate on those prices, by the way, because those have to go in the next 5 days because we have to be at zero come the 20th. For inventory on those Mavericks. So we do things a little differently than most other dealerships. We believe in a turn and earn. So we want to be at zero on the 20th so that we earn more allocations next month. And that's the way we believe. Not all dealerships believe the same thing. So they may not be willing to negotiate on that. But there you go. So that is something to, take note of and think about and what's going on there. I don't think the demand's any less. I think people are finding vehicles out there at dealers, and they may be, especially on the EcoBoost, are more willing to negotiate on that price on those vehicles. We still get a hybrid in and we sell it like that. We don't keep it. We don't mark it up that much anymore, but they're going so fast. But the EcoBoost are the ones that we're struggling to sell because people want the hybrid, right? That's the big thing there. So that's kind of what we're seeing right there. So, well, Sarah, I got you back on there. Anything? Oh wait, you're still muted. This thing is finicky. Can't unmute your guests because they chose to mute themselves. All right. So that's kind of what's happening. Still, you got to remember the Maverick is still the cheapest little truck on the market. So I don't think because it got a $1,400 price increase, or in some cases $3,000. I mean, it's still, one of the cheaper vehicles out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to look at it. Would you still buy an Escape? Or if things were equal and the prices were the same, would you rather have an Escape or would you rather have a Maverick? Because I mean, when you look at it and compare it, comparatively, the Maverick's still cheaper than an Escape. If you look at an Active, which really they're going to an ST more than anything, we're going to see it eventually to where the Active is only going to be available for, in fact, in 24. The Escape Active you only be able to get as a retail order, but an Active Escape is over $30,000. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have a Maverick? And a lot of people would choose a Maverick over that. So when you're looking at it that way, But also look at the Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is more expensive than a Maverick. So, and that's the only competition. So I don't think that it's because of price. I don't think we've seen a less lowering in demand. I guess we'll see once they start scheduling 24. They'll actually put in. They might. Hopefully, they will tell us how many unscheduled orders they have. And if we see 77, because last year it was 77,000 or 80,000, I think, orders were U.S. orders were in the order bank at the launch of last year. So if we're seeing 80, 90, then we know. Also, you got to remember production levels are different now. They're able to make 10,000 um, Mavericks right now a month versus the 7,500 that they were doing before they ramped up production. So they're producing that much more vehicles. And I have in good authority that they're probably going to build about over 8,000 more units um, than expected at the end of this by the end of this year. So,
Mm.
so that's going to be good.
Okay.
Bronco Sports also being ramped up. So that third shift at Hermosillo has made a difference, and we're going to see that difference in the production numbers. So we're going to start seeing more of those being built. So again, they said by the end of this year, they're not going to have that carryover from one model year to the next, and
Yeah.
probably will believe that. So, and then we'll start seeing more lots, hopefully, and then we'll start seeing an MSRP instead of being marked up. So, all right, probably not many questions about that.
Nope, not specifically.
Okay, well then let's get to this.
All right.
All right, so we're going to talk about why dealers should be excited, why Ford dealers should be excited right now. So there's some, coming to the dealer news. One of the goals of bringing dealers in for Ford to talk to is for one to get that to be more transparent with them of what needs to happen, what they've done differently, and since the year before of what they promised to dealers, that kind of stuff, and it was enlightening. So it's the first one I've attended. I did ask those that have attended multiple years, um, if this is a typical of what they do, and Ford is really investing in dealers. Ford My original intent of this topic was going to be Ford dealers aren't going anywhere. They're not going away. In fact, I would say Ford has almost doubled down. When you're gambling, you double down, right? I feel like that's what they're doing right now with Ford dealers. So the whole goal behind this week was growth mode, is what they're calling it. This is their time to grow their market share, grow their production, grow the sales, and dominate the other brands and whatever their model is, right, and what their competition is for that particular model. So at the launch of the dealer meeting, it was really cool. Was they had two dealers that shared their story with their heritage and their legacy. One was out of California. They're one of the top dealers in the country, and talked about I think his grandfather had passed away that had started the business, and how he grew up going to dealer meetings as a 10-year-old, as a kid, and he just grew up in the car business because his family did. And then they it was in a sense, it was like those that had gone on, that had passed on within the last year. Another one was out of Michigan, shared their dealership story in the same similar situation where they're a sibling another generation that's taking over the automotive. And you'll see this, a lot of these dealerships are family owned and run dealers that are taking those on. And Ford has seen these. They celebrated dealerships that had been dealers for over 100 years. They showed one that has been a dealer for 120 years. They're celebrating dealerships that hit their 75-year mark as well, that they've been a dealer and such. And so they valued the dealers. They were working with them. So I did see that and was encouraged by that. And so that was something that I took note of the first night. And also to kind of show this, we've talked actually in the live stream probably about a year ago or earlier this year, where Ford took away the field reps. Those are our dealer reps that we could talk to that came into the dealership They went through the wholesale notes with us. They went to our commitment for this month for production and such, and they actually took a lot of those Ford reps away. As of October 1st, they're going to be back. So they are bringing those back to the dealerships. So Ford field reps is what they call them, are going to be back in October, which also tells me that the dealerships mean something. So dealerships, told them, hey, this is important to us, and this makes it hard. Now we have this one person that's at a computer halfway across the country that we're working with. Nothing against our sales and inventory specialists, that they work their butts off, I could tell you that. And they're constantly working, and they're dealing and juggling so many dealers. They do a great job, but they need help. And so, yes, so that's really encouraging to see that coming back. Also, Ford is also they're going to be investing in the ICE vehicles. So hybrids, as well as your gas powered vehicles, they're not going anywhere. So that was another thing that they made a very big note. We did actually see this in the news not that long ago. Jim Farley at the beginning of this month mentioned that as well. There's a reason why they divided Ford, and they're not going totally EV, and they made the Model E and the Ford Blue, is because Ford Blue can concentrate. And because they have these divided like this, they can concentrate better on those ICE vehicles. And so they are investing billions of dollars on the advancement of and production of their ICE vehicles. So got to see some vehicles this week. And we might talk a little bit about some things that I saw, because some of it's already been disclosed to the public. So we'll share maybe where Ford authorities helped us find some spy photos of some of these, so that I can share what I can. But also, they're investing heavily in software development and such. We talked about this with Doug Fields and Peter Stern being hired in. And so right now, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of like the sync technologies and the chips and such, those are actually outsourced. So when they have an issue with a screen, in fact, this is what held up some of the production for like the Escape, as well as even the Mustang, I think. And why it was delayed was because that's not all in-house right now. So, but they want to bring it in-house. They want to do everything through Ford, so they don't have to try to find a vendor and go, hey, this isn't working. And then by the time they get to it, they fix it. I mean, you guys saw what happened with the Lightning. It was down 6 weeks because of bad batteries. I think I got a bad connection here. And because of that, production, or because of that, they had to reach out to the battery. They had to totally fix it, find out what was the problem, then fix it, and then start producing before we could start building vehicles, right? And they don't want that to be a problem. So that's one step they're trying to do, is bring that stuff in house, and so that they can, which is exciting, because that means, I've always said this, whenever I see Ford take over something or try to do it themselves, it always is better for production. We see it really help out. Also, probably by 2025, I think every model will get Sync 4. They're going to simplify the different setups. They're going to go to like 3 different software systems and screen systems to try to simplify things. Right now, there's like, I think they said 8 or 11, and they're going to take that down to 3 in the near future. So that's kind of the goal there. So also, they mentioned quality. So this is a big one when it comes. I talked earlier about recalls. So recalls, they know there's recalls going on. And so they're really trying to make quality is a big focus to the ICE division, and to the Ford Blue. And they really talked about it quite a bit. And that you'll notice that like Super Duty, especially those luxury trims, King Ranch, Platinum, and Limiteds, the reason it took so long to get those out was they wanted to get them right. This is the biggest thing, is we hate for us to deliver these vehicles to the dealers and then have all these recalls, and then they have to come back to fix them. That's not the experience that they want the customers to have. They want them to take delivery of a vehicle that's not going to have an issue, not going to have a quality issue, which is why we saw the Super Duty as well as the Escape and now the Mustang be delayed a little bit. They said they'd rather have it delayed a little bit than to have a lot of recalls. So I think that's encouraging. They did say, we know you as dealerships, you guys have to take the blunt of all those complaints of where's my vehicle at? Why is it taking so long for me to get it and everything? But they said, just please bear with us. We're wanting to try to make sure the quality is right before we send those vehicles out. So anyway, very encouraging about that. You know, trying to look at my notes and make sure I got everything. But so they are heavily investing in the dealers. You know, a lot of people's like, why don't they just go, like, since we're doing, you know, electric vehicles, they're not going all in on electric. They're still going to devote a lot of attention. I mean, I think there's an article, and I have it referenced here from Ford Authority, where they kind of referenced Jim Farley, quoted him. I'll read his quote from Ford Authority, which I have linked in the description. So I'm citing my source here. Learned that in high school. Says, we have the flexibility to offer customers choice of ICE, hybrid, and full electric in the years to come. Ford Farley said, our hybrid offerings are extremely popular. F-150, the best-selling vehicle in the U.S. for 46 years. 10% of all F-150s and 56% of all Mavericks sold in the U.S. are sold as hybrids. We are adding hybrid options across our ICE lineup. So we're talking Bronco probably getting it. Probably see it roll out to the Expedition. Explorer already has it. Maverick has it. Probably even see it in a Ranger. They did not disclose any of that to me in this week. They didn't talk about any hybrid versions coming out, in case you're wondering. That's what I think is going to happen, because they said at one point that they will make sure that there's going to be a hybrid in every variation available on every model. So probably in the near future, we're going to see a hybrid on a lot of vehicles. So which is pretty cool there. So now I'll see if I can do this the best I can, because I can't describe what any products that I saw, but I can tell you a couple vehicles that we did see that have already been revealed. So, and that is, they had the 24 Ranger Raptor there to show dealers. I'd already seen one at Carlisle. They've been revealed, been out in the press. Those are out. That was a real big news to me because I'd seen those. They also did reveal, show dealers, I should say, the 24 F-150 that is going to be revealed in Detroit. So we should see that soon. Let's see, I do have this here to show. Wait, let me add this. There you go. So here are some from Ford Authority. They're always finding spy photos. And here's an unmasked 2024 F-150. So I can't say yes or no whether or not that's what it's going to look like. But I will say I like the LED lights much better on the one you're seeing in the image here, right there. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, also they had the 24 Explorer, which also is going to be revealing real soon. Here's one that Ford Authority found driving around in Michigan. Pretty cool. So we did get to see that there as well. We'll talk about that right there. And did have an Expedition version there, which we see one right here. Ford Authority has all masked up. So 2025, I think, is probably going to be a refresh year. And so we are going to probably see a new 25. And I think you guys will really like the look of that, as well as some new features to that, which I can't talk about. So you kind of see they masked the back end as well. So it's going to get a new front and rear. Yeah. Also, they talked about what they called a lot of these models that we saw were derivatives. They weren't new models to the market. They call them derivatives. They were calling, trim levels or, a redesign, right? That we usually have every 3-4 years or every 6, that kind of thing. So we did see, what was it, back in March, I think it was, or April, where Sumar Gohatra, I think is how I say it names. He actually talked to a group about Broncos. It might be coming in the near future. The right side is what we might see. Base says premium there in Heritage Plus. And so they did have a Bronco to show us. Can't tell you which one it was out of that, but one of those was there. Bronco Sports also supposed to be getting a refresh coming up. We did see, this was actually revealed about a month ago. It was in Ford Media. That was there. And we got to the Model E section. They did show us that. That was pretty cool. This is the Mach-e Rally. And this will be available to order this fall, they said, for deliveries in 24. So that's pretty cool. So you can get a version of that. I assume it's going to be limited in production, like maybe a Dark Horse or a Raptor is to the Mach-E, but pretty cool. So yeah, so that one was there, and it looked just like this. I think this is the same one. Actually, it was there, but it's pretty cool to see that up a little close and personal there. That front just looks really cool. So let's see. I think that's all. Yeah, that's all the images that I have. So I'm gonna bring it back on. But they did mention, of course, everybody that's been in the news for a while, the T3. They talked about that. The Trusted Truck, another electric truck that's coming. And they've mentioned already that they're working on a third row SUV. It will not be an EV, not be an electric version of the Explorer. It is not going to be on the Explorer platform. It is separate. So these are Ford, Model E and Blue are separate. They're not going to use those platforms. The F-150 was one of those rare times they did that. Probably see more hybrids. As I mentioned, Thursday, you'll probably at Pebble Beach, they're going to reveal a pretty cool vehicle. Ford Authority already has an article. I'll let you try to find that article if you want. Doesn't have any images of the vehicle. Did get a chance to see it. I will tell you this, Jim Farley is so stoked and happy and proud of the vehicle that's being revealed Thursday at Pebble Beach. So be looking for that in a couple days. Pretty cool to be able to see it in public too. So again, we saw like 9 vehicles there, but anyway, but I think Ford dealers should be excited for one. We're not going away. Ford is not going to a Tesla format where they're going to get rid of dealers. They need dealers. They need service centers. They need us to do what we do, and that's to help market their vehicles in our market areas, and help our market. Like for us, our Ford dealer outsells all the other manufacturer dealerships in town put together. And that's what they want other market areas to do as well with their Ford vehicles. I mean, Sarah can tell you that.
Yeah.
You add the Dodge dealer, the Chevy dealer, Jeep. You add all of them together in sales that they do in a month. We outsell them all with just one model, and that's what they want. They want those dealerships to be good Ford dealers and such. So, do we need to get rid of bad dealers? Probably. There will be some dealerships that will go away. Right? And that probably needs to happen. But we probably need more good dealers like us and like some of the other ones that we highlight on this live stream, right? But Ford is leaning into the dealers and to market their vehicles and get excited about them like we are. How to demonstrate them. I mean, we've already got some tips from this week about how we can help show off Blue Cruise to our customers, and when we start getting those EVs on our lot, that we can sell right off of our lot, and we can demonstrate those features and why that the Mach-E is so much better than the Tesla. I mean, if you actually looked at a Tesla and a Mach-E, the quality of the Mach-E is so far superior to the Tesla. It's not even funny. Tesla, their driving system, their driving technology, driver assist feature is what, $6,000 is what it cost. Ford's is $2,000, right? $2,100. It's so much cheaper. And the thing of it is even Tesla's that version that's $6,000. You still have to put your hand on the steering wheel. It's not hands free. So
Yep. I don't trust Tesla either. I've seen one that was swerving. It could have been the actual driver swerving that, but the amount of swerving that there was, that person would have had to have been drunk or having a severe emergency. I don't know. He was halfway in the other lane.
Well, and the thing that we're seeing with those, a lot of people to be honest, people are choosing Teslas because of their infrastructure of chargers. Straight and simple. And if we have those same chargers available to our electric vehicles, there's no stopping that. So the other thing was a lot of people choose Teslas because of the range. And now they have independent people that are actually doing testing on these. So this is something else that came up this week. I probably could share, and that is to go back and talk to people about that. Check out, I think it was Car and Driver, actually. So right now, if you look at like a Tesla Y, their they're touting that their range is 330 miles. That's their EPA, whereas a mach-e is like 290. So they actually took independent studies, and Car and Driver took these vehicles and they actually tested them with the same set of parameters. And the Tesla actually only got 75% of their EPA range. So they weren't getting 330. In fact, when they did the same thing with the Mach-E, it was getting 90% of what they said their EPA was. So when you look at it, the Mach-E actually goes further than the Tesla does, the Tesla Y does. But that's a story that doesn't get out publicly, you know. Especially
Now,
when one person, and when you talk on social media, one person owns it,
yeah.
right?
So
Twitter.
24 Bronco opens tomorrow.
Yes.
So they haven't released a refresh. It's all based off of
Correct.
the other one. So we might see a refresh next year.
They didn't actually say what year, the one that we saw, what year that was. They didn't actually say. They
But
said
24 is not a refresh. So
no, it's not.
no.
Usually they do it every 3 years. So it's like 21, 22, 23. And then so you think 24 would be. But you never know, because the first gen Bronco was 11 years before they did a second gen Bronco. So you don't know. The Maverick, we're probably going to see, 22, 23, 24, and we're going to see a refresh in 25 with something major coming that they had there. I can't talk about. Looked pretty cool. Can't talk about it.
Talk about meetings.
Can't talk about it. But it's cool. There's a reason why they locked up my phone.
Yeah.
No
phones.
Nope.
No phones allowed.
I was in meeting 4.5 hours without my phone. Back-to-back meetings. Hour and a half.
It doesn't usually do that.
No. When I got done, I had so much stuff going on. Crazy. Anyway. All right. Any other questions?
We have about that, because we still have one more topic.
No, that was it.
Oh, that's it. So we have Q&A time.
There you go.
Thank you. That's what I was waiting for.
All right.
So Rayanne said that she followed a Tesla home tonight and it was bad. I was like, were they swerving everywhere? She's like, swerving, hard braking, going 10 or more below speed limit, no turn signals. And then someone said maybe they put bad electricity in their Tesla.
I don't know. I just know it's not getting what they said it should get. And I'm not, I don't know. I've seen there's actually a dealer that they kept a Tesla Y that they traded for a while. They didn't even put it up for sale because they wanted to be able to show people with the Mach-E versus a Tesla Y in their showroom, the fit and finish difference between them. And they're not all the same. I mean, there can be a Tesla Y that's great, but there's more of them that are bad than more of them that are good.
Yeah.
So and it's different. I mean, Ford's been producing vehicles a lot longer than Tesla has. So, Ford was a car company that's going to make some EVs, whereas Tesla was an electronics company that's going to start making, or software company that's going to start making cars, and they haven't made cars before. So it's not going to be there. And then I'm biased. I'll be honest.
Now, I mean, like with Ford, though, if a sensor is down, so I could see a Ford vehicle, if a sensor is down, it could potentially start to swerve and not stay in the lane. But with Ford, if a sensor is down, it shuts down that ability.
The ability to do that, yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting that Fusion. It doesn't have that pre-collision assist. That sensor is either blocked, and so it can't tell, or it could potentially, it was seeing that it was trying to brake a lot. And so it was like, okay, so this isn't good. And it turns it off.
Yeah, it's not going to, that vehicle isn't going to like predetermine that, hey, it's blocked and there's someone there. Instead, it just lets you know that particular feature isn't available because of a bad sensor. And then so that way you can get that sensor fixed. Yeah. So,
and I don't know if Tesla does that or not, but that's one thing I like about Ford that I just found out about. I am excited about that because then I'm not having to worry about my car just drawing to a halt on me.
Yeah, I'm saying as somebody that's a Ford dealer and such, just as a customer too. I'm not only am I a Ford dealer, but I'm a Ford owner. I mean, we have an
Yeah.
Expedition, now a Maverick. I have a Bronco. Jeff's got a Mach-E just
Hmm.
purchased. You have a Fusion and a C-Max. I mean, we're a
We
Ford
also,
family,
yeah, Ford
and
and
I'm
Lincoln.
excited. I'm excited for the future of Ford
Yeah.
vehicles.
I
There's a
mean,
lot of new vehicles coming out. I mean,
yeah.
if you look at the portfolio out there and the Ford vehicles, starting at the bottom, we got a new Maverick that just came out and it's
Hmm.
one of the hottest vehicles. A brand new upgraded version of the Ranger that looks really cool. You got F-150 that's getting redesigned this year with another trim level coming. That should be at Detroit, so we can show you soon. What I saw this week. Then you have the Super Duty, which has been redone in 23 with some great technologies.
Hmm.
That's the truck lineup, right? Great truck lineup. And then you look at the SUVs, just got a new Escape redesign. Edge is going away. Explorer
Hmm.
is being redesigned this year. Expedition the year after, and Bronco, two great vehicles that are going to get a refresh next year, um, or in 25. So man, we got good stuff going right now,
Yeah.
and some good vehicles. So hopefully everybody's, at least at Ford dealerships, should be excited they're selling Ford
Yeah.
vehicles. So
All right, on to our questions. The first one of which, can you get the fender flares painted white or red, or does it have to be the vehicle color? So the only
um,
problem I see a problem with that is the fender flares are usually a textured molding, and that you can't paint those.
and yeah, I don't know what model they're talking about, but
Yeah.
either way, most of the models, the fender flares, it's got to be talking about Bronco. Um, those are textured.
I mean, I do have some upstairs on for my Maverick, the Bushwhacker ones. Those are not textured. You could paint
Feels smooth.
those.
Yep.
I mean, your body
Yep.
shop doesn't have to paint it body color. You could paint that whatever you want.
Yep. Air Design makes for the Maverick makes hood scoop,
Yeah.
rear spoilers, tailgate spoilers, and such that can be painted.
Yeah.
Coming soon is a new or video guide package coming to a Maverick near you.
Yeah.
Near me.
So, deal me in for a 2024. Tim, are you going to Woodward?
No, that's this weekend. So after going to this, no, I need to get back, take care of things in the home.
Mark says he's stuck on the tarmac, so an hour delay to Vegas. So you might message Mark when you
Yeah,
get home.
he emailed me earlier, and so because I said that we were gonna go, I need to go eat. So I think Derek and I are gonna meet up and go eat something somewhere, and maybe
Okay.
um, hang out and see the sights a little bit before I get into bed
Hmm.
because we gotta get up before a.m. here.
Yeah.
It's like 6 a.m. there. That's not a big deal.
Not like when we go to Detroit and it's a turnaround and we're up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Um, does the exhaust availability on the Big Ben wheels mean I can forget about my order now?
If you have a standard Big Ben, if you have the Sasquatch package, probably not. I don't know. Guess we'll see. But I've also seen sometimes where it says exhausted, and then we see something get scheduled. So
Yeah.
I never say it's out of the question, but we have. Here's what we have. We have 9 allocations this month for Bronco. We have 11 non-heritage orders because
Right.
heritage orders, I can tell you right now, are probably they're going to get pushed to 24. So if you have a
Hmm.
heritage order with us, we're going to need to put a 24 order in for you next week or tomorrow. I think though those people we have 11 non-heritage unscheduled orders and 9 allocations. So we're going to have only two that won't get scheduled this month, probably even this week. So we've actually told our Bronco guys that, hey, let's see what gets. Let's before putting that order in tomorrow. Order banks aren't closing in a day. Let's go ahead and see what schedules on Thursday and see if you get scheduled first. And then if not, then that way we only have two of those non-heritage orders to put in, 6 heritage, I think. So that's only 8 orders to put in instead of 17.
Hmm.
So that helps everybody out. So
All right.
Niles going to bed.
Yep. Night, Niles.
It's only 7 o'clock here. Early bird.
Uh huh. Has the Raptor R been confirmed for 24?
Uh, for the F-150, it's available now, 23. So,
All right.
I mean, they haven't confirmed anything for 24 stuff yet.
All right. Now that all 24 Bronco trims are getting the 12-inch screen, will the trims also get the 360 camera as well?
No, that I believe is part of the Lux package or the High package.
So with
Still
that,
would
someone
require that.
asked, can I upgrade my 8-inch screen to a 12-inch screen on my 22 Bronco that I am currently driving?
I don't think so, because if you look at the 8-inch screen, there's still like you would need to do new dash overlay. So I don't know how possible that is.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's not unheard of. It would probably take a lot and probably void your warranty.
Yeah. That would take a lot of configuration and making sure it's plugged in just right.
Yeah.
All right. Just got my 23 Maverick XLT. Dealership told me I'm not eligible for price protection. Is that true?
Nope.
You are eligible.
Yep. The Ford, let me just say it this way. Ford will reimburse your dealership for any price increase that happens if the price changes from the time you ordered to the time the vehicle comes in, as long as the person that ordered it is the person that buys it. That's like word for word for Ford almost. And so Ford is going to give that dealership the $500 difference price increase from when you ordered the vehicle from when it came in, because it went up $500 in February. So the dealership's going to basically they're looking at that as gross, and they don't see it because they don't think there's any there, because they consider price increase a private offer. And if you word it to them that no, this is actually reimbursement on your dealer part statement 45 to 60 days later. How about this? I'll come back in 45 days. You look and see if my VIN number has a $500 credit. And if it does, you give me my cash, because that's my money.
Yeah.
That's the other thing you can do. Some dealers are actually doing that. Some dealers are like, I don't trust Ford. And maybe they don't sell enough that they know, but we know how it works because we're getting reimbursed for all these Mavericks, and we see it. It's in their dealer payment statement based on the VIN number. It shows the VIN number and the money reimbursed. When we do the deal, we know that 500 is going to come back to us, in 45 days. So we actually credit the unit so that it can be charged back to when they can rectify that when it comes in,
Yep.
or whatever.
Yep. So back to our screen conversion question. Someone said that the screen conversion was tried is more than a size change. It's not just a screen swap, which makes sense. The 8-inch and the 12-inch probably have different dash holes for their screens. And so, different sizes, different holes.
Yeah.
You got to try and put
That
them in.
that opening is not the same. Like I'm looking at mine, I like mine. You can see where it could fit, but it's still the cutout is still just for the 8-inch screen. So, and you know what? To me, it's not necessarily that I need a 12-inch screen. I want the front camera. My thinking is, I'm hoping to see is that they have the availability, or that they should have that ability to add a front camera to anything with a 12-inch screen, because that's more of an off-road capability option that you need. Going off road several times, I think is very critical to get. I don't need that big screen. I just want to be able to see the front of the vehicle when I'm on off road, and I think that needs to be a standalone option.
All right.
Before we can talk about, what was that last one about, color changes?
Oh, they were wondering if you can tell us what the 24 color changes are.
For the Bronco?
Yes. And then do we know what 25 color changes are?
No, we don't know that far in advance. 24, we do know that Raptor's losing the code orange. It is getting shelter green, like the Ranger. Velocity blue is coming back, I think, on all models. I think in my video I said for Raptor only, but I think it's coming back for all models. Area 51 is going away. That's the only thing that they've told us so far.
Sounds like it's going away for a lot.
And that is what was on Bronco 6G.
Okay.
Not the broadcast. but it is the same. But it is the same as the broadcast. But it was
All right.
that was already released on Bronco 6G, so I'm going to reference them as the source.
All right. I saw on Ford website if your order does not get built, you can place a new 24 model year order. You will not lose your place in line. How will Ford know my place in line? Is there something my dealership can do? And this is for Maverick.
Oh, this is for Maverick. Okay,
Mhm.
so Ford will know because they know that you had a 23 order with the exact same order number as your 24 order. They're going to see that you and what they're going to be looking for when they look at the 24 orders, they're going to see that order number and they're going to look at your dealership and see if there was a 23 order with that same order number. So there has to be that those 23 orders have to stay in the order bank for that dealer. But once they see that, that's when Ford will give it a O2 priority. So they're doing it, not Ford. Or not the dealerships. I mean, Ford is doing it. So, like, well, you mentioned earlier, Sarah, that all of ours are. We have a bunch of ours that are O2s because they
Mhm.
saw that 23 order in there, and then they saw the 24 COVP, and they matched it up, gave it an O2.
Yep.
So, yeah. And there, what's the thing of it is we actually want to prioritize and stack ours based on how they were put in last year. Ford won't let us. Everybody, all those orders on an O2. So no matter when you put your order in last year for us, you all are on this basically on the same level playing field. It's all going to be about configuration and then luck, which I don't really like, but I don't have any. We don't have choice because Ford took it out of our hands. But they needed to take it out of some dealers' hands because some dealers didn't even prioritize the 23 orders from the 22, and we see dealers that didn't get 22 scheduled because their dealerships dropped the ball. So I get it. Ford's taking that over for those dealerships that are stupid, basically.
Yeah. All right. Been waiting a year for my Maverick. No VIN or letter. Order to 22 was changed to 23. No response from no one. Can you help me?
Ooh,
Unfortunately, we cannot look up other dealers' orders.
no. I
It would
mean, I
be
can
your
pass your
dealer.
information on to the brand manager if you email
Yeah.
me.
So email us here,
Sarah. Yeah.
Sarah Davis at McArthur.com.
Yep.
We can certainly try and pass that along.
We can. Yeah. All I can do is pass it on to the brand manager and see if they can reach out to your dealer. That's about all I can do.
Oh, Patrick said his question was for the Bronco Heritage.
On the fender flares?
No.
Oh,
He had a 23 going to 24. How will they know? It's the same principle, right?
no, they're not going to do O2s on those. So
Oh, that's right.
it doesn't get rolled over your dealership. You'll have to put in that 24 order. So they're not doing private offers because they told dealers, here's your number. Don't take more than you can get. I think about all the heritage for anybody that had a 23 prior to March 27th order in, they already had scheduled a lot of those heritage orders. So that should have been done, and yours should have been. And if yours was put in after March 27th, then that's different because they said, "Hey, we're not giving private offers. These aren't rollover orders." So you'll have to put in a new order with your dealership, and so it's really up to your dealership how they're going to prioritize them. For us, like we have those 6 heritage. Well, when we put those in, they're going to get a higher priority than any new one that gets put in. So your dealership needs to do the same thing. It's up to them whether or not they do.
All right. Now that the build line has doubled and Broncos are not in demand as much, aren't more fleet orders for Mavericks coming in?
I don't know because I can't see fleet orders. Those are kind of done separately.
All right. Hi on 24 build Maverick XLT Lux package does not include unless you add black appearance package. Are there restrictions already?
Hold on. What now? Luxury package is required if you add a black appearance.
Yes. So if you have the black
This
appearance
year,
package, you have to have the Lux now.
yes, that is a change for this year. That Ford is now requiring you to add the Lux package if you order the black appearance package. So
yes,
that's already figured into 10% production capacity.
Will the dash on Bronco go full digital, no speedometers? Hard to say. It's up
I
to
don't
Ford.
think that's changing any because we're not talking a 12-inch screen there. We're talking the 12-inch center stack screen.
Well, he's saying the speedometers.
I know.
In the cluster.
Yes, but the cluster is not changing
No.
sizes or anything. That's not changing. So the productivity screen is what I like to call it. That is not changing. It's your center stack screen that's going to 12-inch screen. Will the
Hmm.
Bronco fully digital or similar to Raptor? Yeah, I don't know on that. I don't think there's any changes to that from 23 to 24. It's not in 23. It's not going to change for 24, I believe. We were not told that yet.
Patrick W., if you want to email me, I can certainly help you get those instructions to your dealer. All right. Are they tanking the Ford Edge, or is Ford going to be smart and make a 25? They're done after this year, right?
Yes, they are what they call that. They call that sunsetting. So that after 24 model year, the Edge is finished. Finite. Gonzo.
Yep. All right. Ford started converting 23, 24 MAV rollover orders to priority 2. Most on MAV
Yes.
form have priority 2, but as of today, I'm still priority 19. I am concerned, or should I wait another week? Talk to your dealer. Make sure you're COVP approved. Check in with your dealer and ask what your priority is. They should be able to check that for you.
Ford support can give you your priority, but they cannot look up your COVP. So
That's
the
right.
only way the only one that has any kind of system, only your dealership can look up your COVP status.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to, I know it's difficult, but yeah, you need to get through dealership and say, my order is not a priority 2. I had a carryover from 22 to 23. I should be priority 2. And if they say, well, only Ford does that, said that is true, but they do that once my COVP has been approved and verified. So
Let's get this going.
what's the status of my COVP? And they get an email from Ford. Like our person that does ours, a lot of times will forward that on to the salesperson. And says, here you go, this is your order. It's been approved. And so then you could even forward that on to your customer. But we're not doing that necessarily. But if the customer really needed it and wanted to know, but you can look up their priority and they can call Ford customer support to see what the priority is and the status of their order, but they can't see Ford customer support cannot see COVP status.
Yeah. So, Ron, that would answer your question as well. How do I know if my 24 got changed to a priority 2? Talk to your dealer or Ford customer support to know the status.
You can call Ford customer support because they're going to tell you the truth on what your priority is. But if you're not an O2, then that means that your dealership doesn't have a COVP approval. They could have submitted yours into COVP, but there's 2 things. There's 3 statuses once a COVP is submitted. One says pending, which means Ford hasn't looked at it yet. And the other is hold, which means there's something wrong that didn't get it approved. And then there's verified. So verified means you're good. So if you're a hold, that could be as simple as a blurry driver's license where they can't see if your name matches, that driver's license name matches that, or your address matches your order address. So everything has to match up. If your driver's license, let's say you moved, but you haven't redone your driver's license, it won't match your new order, right? Because it's a different address. Addresses have to match, name has to match. If it doesn't, that could be why it's not approved. That could be a hold. I mean, there's some simple things for hold statuses.
Yeah. All right. So now that all 24 Bronco trims are getting the 12-inch screen, will the trims also get the 360 camera as well?
We answered that.
Oh.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. I must have had that pulled twice for 2 different people.
Front camera, I'm hoping. But
are there any new colors? Which we already answered that too.
Yeah.
Do you know how long they are scheduling for the 23 Mavericks?
Okay, hold on a second, because that last one though, they said Heritage. So Heritage, I didn't mention that earlier. Heritage Edition, regular Heritage Edition, will get the Robin's Egg Blue as an option now. So that's been added for this year. And Heritage Limited will be Robin's Egg Blue, which they already had, and Yellowstone. So okay. Do you know how long they are scheduling this with? Well, they're scheduling them into the week of October 9th is the last week they're producing those. I don't know at this point. I don't know if this is the last week. I thought last week was the last week that they're scheduling for, and we're moving on to 24, but evidently they must have still some production slots to open up and fill. Hey, maybe we'll get some more 23 scheduled this week. Who knows? We had 38 out of the blue get scheduled for us last week, so maybe we'll get some more scheduled this week. We'll find out. So All right.
Sorry.
Headphones. There'll be more in there.
Just letting someone know why he may have been flagged as spam. Okay.
Oh.
So here's something. Derek rocks. He deserves a raise. At least buy him around tonight. I think you're thinking of Derek Stitham, a salesman. Derek Lee is our general manager.
Derek's who's here at the dealer meeting that
Derek
brought me.
Lee is the one at the dealer meeting.
Yeah.
Derek
So we're gonna
Stitham he was here today, in fact, even though it's his day off.
going in. All right.
Have you heard about EV tech that has a range of 700 miles?
Not yet. But some of them are saying, like, I think I heard something where they said GM's working on an SUV that's going to be all electric that'll go 700 range. I don't know. I don't think that's out there yet. I think you're going to be more likely to see like maybe Ford will have a hybrid SUV that'll get a range of 700-800 is their goal for a hybrid, which wouldn't be surprised. The Maverick will go 600, right? There's all kinds of people out there trying to join the 600 mile club is what they call that. That they're getting 600 miles on a tank of gas. So you put a hybrid in something. That's why, it's like when you look at it that way, it's like, hey, I can go 600 miles in a hybrid without having to fill up. That's, an EV. Yeah. I mean, but look at the price of gas. I mean, if you have to charge, I mean, we've done this on a trip. I mean, it still costs you money to charge an electric vehicle on the road. I mean, I think I spent like, I don't know. I think it's almost like if you go from like, 10, 20, or maybe even 30% to like 80, it still costs you like $20. Yes, it's cheaper than gas, but it also takes you longer than gas. And I'm like, if I can get a vehicle that's a hybrid that can get me 600-mile range, and then I fill it up and it costs me $30, $40. I don't know what a tank costs there. What was a tank costing for you? $30, $40? Some of you Maverick people can tell me like how much gas costs to put in a Maverick.
I haven't driven the Maverick for like 6 months.
I know, but you might remember. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, what's a tank?
It used to be like 40.
15-gallon tank at what's the gas cost now? I haven't had to fill up in a while.
I don't know, but I do know that when I was driving, it costs about 40.
Okay, so 40. So, but you're going twice as far. So if my EV can only go, and
I have EcoBoost.
Let's say that Lightning can go 300 miles. Let's say it's half as far as one of those. All right. And it cost me $20 to take it from that 30% to 8% to go another 300 miles. Right. So by the time I'm done and I'm filling up when the hybrid Maverick is, it's ended up costing me $40, the same price. So it's not any cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we making more hybrids? Anyway.
I want hybrids.
So
plug-in hybrid is what I want.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Last question I have here. So call for any questions I may have missed or I did accidentally unstar a few. So if I missed your question or we did not answer it, please drop your question in there with @SarahDavis while we answer this one. Ordered 23 Maverick with the 22 dealership and a second dealer that I would prefer to buy from. Can I stack my 22 and 23 private offers through the second dealer or must I use the 22 dealer?
Ford is saying, okay, so you put 2 orders in for 23.
Mm-hmm.
I would go with the dealership that you put the 22 order in with.
Yes.
That you also put a 23 order in with instead of the one.
Because they're going to match based off of order number and with your dealer.
You cannot use, so each of the, so the 23 to 24 private offer is a certain offer number. And that is not eligible with itself. So you wouldn't be able to use all 3 of them, right, on one order. So what I probably encourage to do is put one maybe in with those 2 same dealerships and make sure the order numbers are the same. And what you might have happen is that 22 order that you had originally, doesn't get scheduled, but that other one with that other dealership with the 23, at least you have that private offer to use. But yeah, I don't know on that 20. If you order with that 23 dealer, I don't know if that 22 to 23 one's going to show up as well. I mean, it should show up. I don't know. I guess if I were in your situation, I'd put the order in with both dealerships, ask them to both be the same, and then whichever one shows up first is I would see if that offer is available. Because as soon as you get a VIN number, it can be looked up. So a lot of people may not know that. So let's say you have those orders in with both dealerships, and the one with the dealership that didn't have a 22 order gets scheduled. Once you see that VIN number, you can search that VIN number for any offers and see if the 22 to 23 offer as well as a 23 to 24 is showing up in your name. Now you won't be able to use two of the multiple ones, because what it'll probably show under your name is two offers for the other. But I think offers are showing up. I think it's the prioritization that you're not going to get if you switch dealerships between model years. So, if you try to go to even a third different dealership for your 23 or 24 order, I think you wouldn't get prioritized because they're having to match it up with the dealership with that order. So both those two orders, if you ordered them both again with those two dealerships, they would probably get an O2 priority, and that's what you're going to get. But the private offers probably will show up regardless, no matter which dealership you go with, if that makes sense. Okay. But we don't, until we get a VIN number and you can have a dealership look up your private offers, there's no way of knowing. So, or actually, private offers can be searched. Probably need to wait for about another month, but we should be able to, under your name, search for private offers and see if they're both showing up. So it shouldn't matter what dealership you order come in. You should be able to get eligible for both. Will there be an ST in 2025? Next.
Don't know. I'll answer that one. Don't know. On Maverick Build and Price, XLT Lux package is not an option unless you add Black Appearance package. Is there already restrictions?
Okay, hold on. XLT Lux package is not an option unless you add. It is an option without the Black Appearance package.
All right.
Lux package is optional. Black Appearance package requires the Lux package.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So I will say, though, Ford's website, if you can't choose XLT unless you get the Black Appearance package added to it, that's a glitch.
Could be a glitch. I mean,
we've seen glitches on Ford's website before, times where an F-150 didn't have side view mirrors or running boards or door handles I saw on an Expedition. So there can be glitches on Ford's website, but you can get XLT Lux package without Black Appearance package.
Let's see if let's see if this works. Test the theory.
All right, well, I'll answer Kevin while you're doing that. So Kevin, I will send you one. I will send one to you. No problems on that.
Here, let's try this. Can you guys see my screen? Can you see it there? No. It'll be 10 seconds for them.
I don't see your screen. You need to
share it.
Add it.
Okay.
I added it.
Okay.
You're good now.
Not now.
Not now. There you go.
Okay. So I'm really delayed. So now, how's it look?
You're good. Keep it there.
Can you see Ford.com?
Yes. And I see your cursor moving.
You can see it. Okay. So let's go, because since I only have one computer, I can't see what I'm seeing, or I can't see what you're seeing. All right. So let's just test this out for Maverick and make sure. And so I can tell you what can be done. I can tell you what the order guide says and what's true.
I have found on Tuesdays, I have found on Tuesdays that I keep getting Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno stuck in my head.
All right. So I just selected XLT Eco because it doesn't matter. And there's if you go to packages, so there is FX4 because that's available. Trimmer's available. 4K. Okay. Um, where's the
Where's
Lux?
Lux?
Lux package isn't on there. So, okay. So there is a glitch. You know what? I'm going to screenshot this for our brand manager. But you can see, yeah, you're right. Lux package isn't even showing on there.
Yeah.
That is a definite glitch. Lux package is available without going to the black appearance package.
And
Wow.
Lux is available on XLT.
Yeah, it's not showing it at all.
Add black appearance
Wow.
package. Add black appearance package.
There. Says requires it. Okay, so that is a glitch. So okay, that's what she's talking about. So okay, so we'll share that with the brand manager and let them know there's a glitch with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's funny.
It's always fun to find a glitch.
So, but you can get the XLT Lux package without going to the black appearance package. Okay, so that's what you're talking about.
So Ray Ann, our members that were picking up their Mavericks from us, we have some special little gifts to give to them. A Ford Video Guy merch. Not merch, you can't find it on the website. So it's things that we have specifically ordered to give to members that are picking up.
We have shirts still left over.
Yes, I was actually going to mention that. We have stickers too. We have stickers and shirts. So if you'd like a Maverick Meetup shirt, let me know. I'll get you pricing.
I already have pricing.
Oh, you do? What's the price?
$30.
Oh, she says you do a discount now.
Well, okay. Maybe you've talked to her since I have. I'm not at the dealership.
I'll talk to her.
Okay. All right. We'll try to mention that at the beginning of next week's live stream then.
They should have Gen Zers doing the website.
Yeah.
Are they doing it now, though? Did Ford talk about the Bronco work variant? If so, touch your nose with your pinky finger and blink 3 times while talking about something totally unrelated.
On the Bronco?
Yeah.
They did not show that. They're wanting to know what variant that I saw.
But I like how he's like, if so, touch your nose with your pinky finger and blink 3 times while talking about something totally unrelated.
Is that RagnarCon?
Yeah.
How do I know? RagnarCon, I can clue you in. RagnarCon,
you just can't talk about it.
I can't. I mean, I can. Yeah, I can't say what version necessarily it was, but I can tell you it looks cool.
Week. Good night and safe week. Okay. I think that's all the questions I had here. We do have a merch site. So if you guys would like Ford, do we have any Ford Video Guide tumblers on there?
I think so. Link is in the description if you want it. Yeah, links in the description of all of our videos, actually.
Yes. So you have
as well as below the YouTube, not during the live stream.
You do not have a Tumblr.
What?
No Tumblr. You have mugs. You need to give me the link for that so I can start like doing more with it, because I think I could really do some fun things for us.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah. No. Oh, there's a travel mug with a handle in stainless steel, or white, and then there is one water bottle, but it has 2 different designs with the truck scene, which, by the way, still says trunk scene, TRUNK instead of TR.
I know I can't change the design once I created it.
Oh man! So then you also have another travel mug without a handle, and then you have a truck scene light insulated stainless steel, and that one has glitter on it. So there's a lot more than I saw on the first page. So if you would like Ford Video Guy merch, head on over there. There are some fun things on there. I personally have a backpack.
I do. I like my Bronco one better though.
Well, I don't have the opportunity to get one of those, so I have my.
It's on Ford's merch site, which they said they're going to be getting more merch stuff.
For Maverick?
Well, yeah. for one, because they mentioned
Or
actually they mentioned that people wanted more Maverick stuff, so they did reference that itself, but other stuff too. They said that they're going to try to get more.
well, I might just have to call Kathy and be like, okay, so we have that C-Max cup you gave me. I'm gonna need more merch with
Mhm.
that on there with my name. Like I need that print so I can add it to a bag and everything else. Let's get this going.
All right.
Um let's see. That's all I have for now. Yes, the cups on this site should fit in your Maverick door. I know that's very important.
The ones on Ford's site doesn't.
Ragnarcon,
Uh,
we have always had merch. I think that you just
yes.
get in after we announce that we have a merch
And
site.
if you watch any of our videos at the bottom, there's actually the merch is at the
Yes.
bottom. I don't know about the live stream,
Live
but
streams do not show it.
our other videos, it actually is underneath our video. There's
Yes.
a store. We have a store. Actually, if you go to if you put in youtube.com/McArthur/store, it
Hmm.
takes you to our store. But yes, in the link of all of our videos, there is a link to our merch
Yeah.
site.
So we did have a question. Is this channel only for Mavericks? No, we talk about Bronco, um, Lightning,
We talk about
all
scheduling on
Ford.
we talk about scheduling, constraints, and production, any
Yeah.
updates of news, no matter what model it is, we're going to share it. So we talk about all of them on this. This stream was started because of the Maverick community
Yeah.
asking questions, because like they even said that most people that are on a Maverick, most of them, it's like they said over 50% of the people, it's the first time owning a truck,
Hmm.
and more than 60% of them came from another brand to the Maverick. And so we
Yes.
had a lot of them have questions about that. That's how the stream started. But at the beginning, if you go into scheduling notes, we talk about every model and what
Hmm.
scheduling and what constraints there are. And when we get into the dealer news, anything that's happened in the last week is what I share. So as well as recalls, all the different models. Yeah, any news related stuff that I get in the last week. Yeah, like this week, there's a lot. Like next week, we might be talking about Bronco a lot. So it just depends on what's in the news and what's going on. So, yeah.
Mm. Can you dealers tell Ford is going to lose a lot of customers if they stop producing the Ford Edge? In my case, the Edge ST. See, and we heard that when they stopped producing the Focus, Fusion, and Fiesta. Maybe not the Fiesta, but the Focus and the Fusion, that Ford would lose a lot of customers because they're no longer producing a car besides a performance car.
Yeah.
People have stuck around though, or they have gone over to a car.
You might look at the Escape because
The
the
Escape is
Escape
nice.
has changed
Or
its look and such. And to be
or go
honest,
with the Maverick. Um, again on the Maverick, but Maverick seems car-ish to me. I like it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, well, like,
Car-ish.
well, your sister, when before she got her Escape, she looked at the Edge,
Yeah.
and it just seemed too big for her. So
Yeah.
she got the Escape because it was a little narrower, but
Mhm.
room in the back, she was able to put Jaden's wheelchair back there, which
Mhm.
was the big reason she was looking at the Edge to begin with. But the Escape was still big enough to put the wheelchair back there. That's where
Yeah.
she went that
See,
route.
and Lebo keeps going, "Hey, let's buy my dad's Edge. Let's buy I'm like, "Nope, we are not buying an Edge." For me, it seems too bubbly, like too much bulk.
I will say the windshield between the two is a big difference.
Yes. And I think that's
So
what I don't like.
I was, because I never really drove the Maverick much. I've been driving it. That windshield looks so tall. Um,
Yes.
it's
I
just
think
like,
that's
wow, I can see my sky. There's sky up there.
yeah,
I mean, it seems so big. And I
that's
think every vehicle has a little bit of different feel on the windshield. I know your mom was that way when she was driving vehicles. It was like, I can't drive this because I feel like I'm, certain vehicles, if the windshield's narrow, it doesn't wrap much. She doesn't
mhm.
feel like she can see the road enough and much. Yeah. So everybody's different. But
When are we going to Moab for off rodeo? Or
we're going to
not?
Colorado.
We're going to Colorado for Supercell.
Yes, that is in September. Well, we're leaving. I don't know if we're leaving on your birthday,
I
but the
mean,
day after probably. But
I don't mind.
our campsite reservation is for the 5th through the 10th. I
Okay.
can say that. So if we do start traveling that way, we would probably stay in like a motel or something like in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Is the thoughts, because I wouldn't mind
I
stopping by
want
there.
to be there on the 5th because I
Yeah.
saw Bronco Nations doing some stuff that day. So
Oh, they doing this stuff that day?
I saw Bronco Nation. It says starts at 10 a.m. on the 5th.
Hmm. I thought it was on the 6th.
Maybe they have it start date Tuesday, September 5th at 10
Hmm.
a.m.
10 a.m. Okay. Well, then we can drive. I mean, it's only like 6 hours for us.
Yeah.
So,
Start
well,
date, end date, Saturday.
the thought was if we started driving on Monday, then we can get to Colorado Springs. It's only like an hour or two after that,
Yeah.
and so we could get up that morning and be up there in that morning. But we won't
Yeah.
really get to be able to do our campsite until later that day
Yeah.
or night. So anyway,
I was going to look at the events real quick and see if they're doing something specifically on the 5th.
we'll see. Supercell's not doing anything until like later on the 5th,
Mm-hmm.
and most of their stuff starts the 6th. Actually, the 6th is the setup day.
Right.
And so I know Supercell is not. So if Bronco Nation's doing anything, it's just probably outside of Supercell. So
Right. That's what I was thinking. They might be
yeah,
planning something different.
yeah. Anyway,
So, yep, they don't have anything listed. So,
yeah.
all right.
All right. Well, that's not
Should
it.
I
I need to
order
go.
24 Bronco if my 23 hasn't been scheduled at this point? If you rewind
On
back,
Bronco. Yeah.
we
I
did
mean,
answer that.
so I would maybe wait until Friday or
Mm,
Thursday and see if you get scheduled Thursday, because they are doing some Bronco scheduling this week, and it is the first week for August scheduling. So I would almost wait to see what happens Thursday, because, well, here's the case. Order banks are going to open up tomorrow, but not until at the very end of the day, like an hour before most dealerships close, right? So I would see what happens and see if you get an email by noon on Thursday. And if you don't get one by like noon or 1 o'clock or sometime in the mid afternoon, then put that order in with that 24 order in with your dealer.
Yeah.
It can, the 24 order can be canceled. If you get your 23 scheduled, it can be canceled. Not the end of the world, but it can be a headache, especially if they got to do COVP and everything. You might just, you might just wait one day. So,
Mm-hmm.
and your dealer, if you have one with your dealer, surely they're going to prioritize your order and give you a higher priority if you had a 23 with them, right? So,
All right. Last question. Okay. I ordered a Lightning Pro last week when orders open. Is the October to November estimate good no matter which deal I selected?
should be.
Okay.
Should be. Yeah, most of their production, I think they're producing through November, December for Lightnings. And then they're going to be starting over with the Model E structure for 24 model year
Okay.
after that, which we'll get more information on later.
Yeah. All right. I don't have any other questions.
All right. I'm getting hungry, so I need to go eat. So, anyway. All right. Well, nothing else.
Okay.
I switch over here so I can flip things over. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Next week we should be back in our regular studio, both of us. Other than that, I think that's it. So, um, yeah. So
All
thank you
right.
guys, and I got a special end scene for this from our members who were came over for the Maverick meetup. We drove from the dealership to a dinner downtown, and we caravan or kind of went down together. So the video that I have is the parade of member Mavericks from Maverick meetup. So again, thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to smash the like button, and until next week or until the next video, be positive, be kind to one another.
And be kind to yourselves.
See you later.